The esoteric answer to the riddle of the Sphinx. The riddle of the Sphinx is from a Greek play, perhaps now a legend of a legend. The riddle was said to be asked of every traveler that the Sphinx encountered. What goes on 4 feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, and 3 feet in the evening? The Sphinx asked Oedipus. Oedipus answered, man, as an infant, he crawls on all 4s, as an adult, he walks on 2 legs, and in old age, he uses a walking stick. Oedipus was the first to answer the riddle correctly and, having heard Oedipus answer, the Sphinx was shocked and inexplicably killed herself. Oedipus went on to succeed in his conquest. His conquest though was a failure, he failed to accurately understand himself. The riddle of the Sphinx is from a play from around 400 BC by the playwright Sophocles, from Greece. Oedipus Rex, or Oedipus the King, tells the tale of the confused success in the life of Oedipus, and perhaps mirrors a similar basic or confounded success via the answer to the riddle itself. The answer to the riddle of the Sphinx is interesting, and yet there is something left incomplete as well as an implied darkness. The answer to the riddle does not provide the same provoking pondering that so many other riddles do. It is literally a dead end. The answer feels incomplete. The riddle of the Sphinx leaves one perplexed rather than ignited by inquisitiveness. It reveals no mystery and yet is among the greatest of mysteries. It provides no paradigm thinking other riddles might provide, however slight the paradigm may be. It is as if the riddle of the Sphinx hints at another riddle, as if there the answer quietly points to an unsaid follow-up riddle and answer behind the riddle of the Sphinx. On critical examination, the overall implication of the riddle of the Sphinx is to define and measure the materialistic lifetime of man. The answer leaves one wanting, perhaps in awe, but wanting, nonetheless. It is not an inspiring answer to present mortal fate and is out of tune with the rest of Egyptian pursuits toward immortality. The answer does not resemble the inspired and occulted pursuits pertaining to spirituality and immortality the people of ancient Egypt/Kemet endeavored. There are 3, but where is the 4th? Carl Jung. The answer is basic and suggests the unsaid potential, the esoteric answer. There are innumerable subjects and systems which contain an overt set of 3 and a covert 4th aspect. There are so many such sets in fact that nearly every set of 3 hints at the unsaid, silent, 4th aspect. Perhaps the most significant worldly symbol relating a set of 4 that illustrates the idea possibly insinuated in the riddle of the Sphinx is the ancient Aum symbol. The symbol depicts 4 stages of consciousness, just as its enunciation is also 4 parts. Aum is pronounced with the A, U, and M sounds as is clearly depicted. The 4th unsaid sound of Aum is silence itself, the unsaid. The 4 aspects of consciousness Aum depicts is the sleep state, wake state, deep awakening state, and deep dreaming state. The ancient primal symbolism in Aum reveals the 4th aspect of consciousness is nearly unattainable and ineffable, but like the pursuit toward perfection, endless refinement is possible toward it. The 4th aspect in the Aum symbol is the point beyond the veil. Perhaps the most coveted Egyptian symbol that pertains to the unsaid and distinct 4th aspect is the Ankh. Variations of the cross symbol are revered the world over. 2 lines intersecting form 4 corners or parts, and in the case of the Egyptian Ankh one aspect is distinct. The top aspect of the Ankh is oval, relating feminine or yin energy, corresponding to the ultimate yin, the mystery, the unsaid, the beyond, the highest state of consciousness. The Ankh is symbolic for eternal life and consciousness of life in 4 parts, similarly to the Aum symbol. The Egyptian Djed symbol, like the Ankh, is symbolic of the archetypal 4 aspects and underlines the idea of the completeness of 4 in Egyptian symbology. The Ankh is symbolic for the spiritual world of eternity and the Djed is symbolic of the physical world. The Djed pillar is symbolic of the spine of Osiris, a sacred tree, the 4 directions of earth and the 4 sons of Horus. A Djed structure is central in the architecture of the Great Pyramid. 4, as well as the Djed itself, are symbolic for completeness and stability. The Ankh and the Djed are often pictured together or fused together and sometimes with a 3rd symbol, the was, a scepter or staff symbolizing dominion and sovereignty of individual mastery. The simple answer is to the riddle of the Sphinx is a man. Yet the answer is perhaps misleading and is certainly basic and inspires little. The hidden unsaid riddle is, what is beyond the walking on three symbology? And what is the unsaid esoteric and inspiring answer? The unsaid answer is not the aged man who needs the assistance of walking stick. The contrasting answer revealing potentiation and inspiration rather than degeneration is the master. The master who stands with a scepter. The true inspiring answer is the human who has reached mastery standing with a scepter, a staff, a was, a measuring stick, a planting stick, a pole. The unsaid answer is man as a sacred geometer, as spiritual master, akin to Thoth who grasps his measuring stick, symbolizing mastery of the world, for the pole symbolizes the world itself, generation and creation, and the measuring/comprehension thereof. Thoth, and many other Egyptian gods, hold the measuring staff symbolizing mastery of the world. Sometimes they hold more than one staff symbolizing mastery of worlds. Many other allegorical spiritual masters and gods the world over all also hold the staff or pole, symbolizing mastery of the polarity of creation, mastery of life, not feeble walking. What is commonly known as the Pyramid Text, and the Egyptian Book of the Dead reveals a similar strain of the great riddle facing all of us, the riddle of life and death. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is actually a misnomer of a name and, like the typical supposed answer to the riddle of the Sphinx, leads one to an uninspiring misnomer, a dead end. The Egyptian Book of the Dead is actually more accurately titled the Book of Coming Forth by Day. The idea behind coming forth by day as opposed to coming forth by night further reveals the intended subtle lesson of the riddle of the Sphinx. The opposite of coming forth by day is coming forth by night. Those with deadened and dull awareness come forth by night, those who have pursued mastery come forth by day. The man comes forth by night, the master comes forth by day. The master is the esoteric answer. The result of the pursuit of becoming masterful, as Thoth, and as the many other adepts who held the staff symbolically, is the unsaid esoteric answer to the riddle of the Sphinx. In the past, many adepts who gained insight and mastery may have been given the title of Hermes Trismegistus, just as the Greek counterpart of Thoth was named to title their individual mastery. The master becoming timeless and immeasurable, rather than man becoming aged and confined, is the unsaid esoteric answer to the riddle of the Sphinx. Mastery uses the staff to ensure balance on a difficult path of ascension less traveled instead of to simply walk around to the end. Becoming the sacred geometer to master ascension and measure expansive individuation, rather than finite degeneration, is the answer. The warning that death is coming is not the only inference. The pursuit of mastery beyond original potential is the refined answer, the unsaid fourth aspect. The pursuit of mastery is the correct answer as depicted by the tragic end of Oedipus. Oedipus kills his father and marries his mother unbeknownst to him, and suffers the psychic schism when he learns so. Oedipus had the wrong answer and his fate reveals it. He pursued becoming a worldling master instead of a worldly master. He mastered his coarse fate but failed to refine his state. In later versions of the play there is a second riddle of the Sphinx. If the first riddle covertly asks, are you to master the basic world toward death or the world beyond toward enlightenment, then the second riddle asks, what does one master toward enlightenment? There are two sisters, one gives birth to the other and she, in turn, gives birth to the first. What are they? The two sisters of the second riddle are day and night. Such symbolism and energetic conceptualization corresponds with the being and becoming pertaining to yin and yang forces of the Taiji and the Tao. Day and night are symbolic for yang and yin forces in the Taiji symbol. So, what does one master toward enlightenment? The Tao, the ineffable Tao, the Taiji, the grand ultimate polarity, composed of yin and yang. The yin-yang symbol is composed of four primary attributes. The four parts are major yin, major yang as depicted in the swirls and the contrasting points within the swirls. The master pursues comprehension of the being and becoming toward alignment with the grand ultimate pole or polarity, the ineffable Tao, as symbolized by the staff or pole in hand.